Thank you so much. No way.
In another court case and decision that we've been following, at least 4 members of the Proud Boys, that far-right extremist organization, well, they've been found guilty of seditious conspiracy for their roles in the January 6th attack on the Capitol and that alleged plot to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. Joining me now, ABC News senior reporter Catherine Faulders, also the former chief minority counsel of the U.S. Senate Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations, Jeff Robbins. Catherine, let's start with you. Let's talk about these verdicts and what exactly happens next.
Yeah, so this is a big victory for the government here so far. Those seditious conspiracy charges against the leader of the Proud Boys and 3 other members. We're still awaiting what the jury decides as it relates to a seditious conspiracy charge on another member of the Proud Boys here. But look, this came after a 3-month-long grueling trial by the government. And what this does, and again, we're still waiting for more verdicts here, but what this does is it essentially takes down what used to be the core leadership of that far-right extremist group. You see photos there from January 6th in the Capitol on that day. But look, this was in addition to the other far-right group that we've heard a lot about, the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers. This is a significant decision here. But in terms of what happens next, still waiting on some other verdicts and 2 other charges that encompass all of those involved in that trial.
And so, Jeff, was seditious conspiracy the way to go here? And what should we expect, you think, at sentencing?
Well, the maximum that some of these people can receive is 50 years in prison. If one thing is clear, it is that when Donald Trump promised people a wild time if they came to Washington, D.C., there are some people who wish they'd taken a rain check. And what we're going to see is not just pretty stiff sentences handed out here, but moving against several categories of people with the benefit of these prosecutions under their belt for conspiracy. There are dozens of people who may be tied up in some respect with the January 6th issue, with the phony electors issue, with the purloined documents in Mar-a-Lago issue, who have reason to be concerned about these, yet one more successful conspiracy prosecution. And beyond that, there are no doubt hundreds of people who have been engaged in domestic terrorism, extremism, white nationalism, who have more reason to fear as a result of this verdict that DOJ may be coming after them next. So it's a very big deal, just exactly as Catherine has said.
So, Jeff, it's quite a blow to white supremacists and those who follow this ideology.
It is a blow. And speaking of patents, it looks as though the Department of Justice is beginning to develop a patent on these conspiracy prosecutions. And that's a successful model, a template that individuals spread out all across America who may have had nothing to do with January 6th, who may have had nothing to do with, obviously, Mar-a-Lago, but who are engaged in conspiracies to undermine democracy or to target people of color, LGBT community members, Muslims, Jews. And there's obviously in process now a very robust effort to seek those people out and to use the conspiracy statutes against them.
And Catherine, you know, these convictions come after Stewart Rhodes, the leader of the Oath Keepers, who was also convicted of seditious conspiracy. I mean, these cases are similar in many ways. So let's just talk about the state of January 6th and the prosecutions. And could there be other cases, too, that we see forward here?
There could be, Kira, and they are similar in many ways that they involve that seditious conspiracy charge. We know this is the biggest investigation in the Department of Justice history. They've charged more than 1,000 people. They're looking to identify more than 1,000 additional people who they seek to identify here. So there could be, there will be more trials. This is the last one relating to seditious conspiracy that we know of. But I think what's key here is when we talk about the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers, the leader of those 2 groups, they have charged and convicted 2 leaders of these groups who were not physically at the Capitol that day. That could be significant in the special counsel's investigation. Jack Smith, for example, who is also investigating January 6th and investigating people who weren't physically there. That could signal potential conspiracy charges down the road. Of course, this is all tied together, Kira.
All right. Well, Catherine, Jeff, we'll follow it. Thank you so much.